The other day, I seen the news that the Snowfall spinoff that's been talked about for literal months now got its pilot episode greenlit, so it's official, y'all. The dream turned to a reality, and we getting more Snowfall. I know a lot of y'all are excited for the spinoff, just off the short that I posted some months ago about Saint being involved in it potentially. I seen the likes and the views and the interaction on that short is going crazy here and on YouTube. So I figure I'd talk about the spinoff, what we know so far, give my thoughts on where the characters will potentially go in the spinoff, and what we could maybe expect to come out of a spinoff led by Leon and Wanda. But that said, I'm gonna just get right into the video. So if y'all like anything I have to say all throughout, y'all already know what y'all gotta do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Do all those things. Maybe subscribe first. It don't really gotta be in that order, but make sure you do everything if you really rock with me. Because 500 subscribers is the goal before DreamCon. Y'all already know what it is. So on March 17th, 2025, Variety posted this article regarding the Snowfall spinoff being greenlit. I'm gonna read a little bit of it for y'all before I get into my thoughts on the series, the characters, all that. So we start off saying the Snowfall spinoff just took a major step forward with the potential series scoring a pilot order at FX. Potential. See how people try to talk down on a good thing talking about potential? Pilot was greenlit, for crying out loud. Even if it's just for one season, the series will be touching our screens really soon. Relax with the negativity. I had to let that off real quick, because why they doing that? They go on to say the untitled drama was first reported to be in early development in 2023 ahead of the series finale of Snowfall. As reported at the time, Snowfall star Gail Bean will return for the spinoff in the role of Wanda Simmons. She'll be joined by Isaiah John, who played Leon in the series. We know this. Get into a little bit of the plot in the next paragraph. This is the official logline for the pilot, states set in 90s Los Angeles. Soon after the end of the original series, a recovering addict, Wanda, strives to take West Coast rap mainstream despite potential infighting from a heroin gang war. Get a little insight on the plot. It's looking like Wanda might be our main characters for the series, and I'm cool with that. Wanda had one of the best character arcs in the whole series, and her character really ended on a strong note towards the end of the series, in my opinion. I'd be excited to see her in that main character role. We already got hints to what Leon will be doing in this series as well, based off of the series finale that I went back to go rewatch that final scene with him and Saint. We're going to touch on that real quick, but before we do, I just want to get into the end of the article. They say here, Malcolm Spellman will write and executive produce the pilot with Snowfall alums Dave Andrew, Thomas Schlamme, Julie Doji, Michael London, and Trevor Engelson, all executive producing as well. It's very good to know we have people that were involved with the original series involved with this spinoff as well, because it gives me faith that the series is going to stay faithful to the original in ways that new people could not understand. Now that we got the little of the plot that we know about the series out of the way, let's talk about the characters that we know are involved with the series so far, Leon and Wanda. I do want to talk about 3 other characters that could be involved with the spinoff, one of them obviously being Saint. Obviously, the biggest focus is going to be on Leon and Wanda throughout this spinoff series, and I think that they both are going to have strong storylines in it. We know based on the article and based on things that we've heard through the grapevine that Wanda is going to come back to South Central Los Angeles at some point. Now, we know how Snowfall ended. We see Leon come back to South Central 3 years after everything that happened with Saint in the episode. We know the first time Leon came back, Wanda stayed in Ghana, but I think this time around she came back with him. I could imagine we'll probably see a conversation between the two of them in Ghana to start the series. Leon's telling Wanda, hey, I'm going back to South Central. I think I could be a lot of good to my community there. I'd really love if you can come back with me. And maybe over the course of these 3 years, we'll see that Wanda has established some kind of career in the music industry in Ghana, and she wants to take her talents back to LA. Honestly, don't see us picking up this spinoff too far from where the series ended, because, I mean, even in the article, it literally says it's not too long after Snowfall ended this series picks up. But I do think that a conversation between Leon and Wanda will be important prior to the series really starting, because up until this point, we don't really know Wanda to have any interest in the music industry. Throughout the series, after she cleans up, we see her help Sissy maintain the shelter after Alton's death, but we don't see her really get into nothing music related, even if it doesn't go down exactly how I said it would, which it probably won't. Definitely interested to see how Wanda got introduced to the music industry and what she plans to bring to LA, especially being our main character seemingly and having to deal with the gang war that's going on currently in South Central. Now, from the little gang knowledge I have, I assume we're going to be dealing with the Crips and the Bloods. If you a California native and I'm tripping, leave it in the comments and let me know where you think that storyline will go and how you feel like the gang war will impact Wanda and the music industry as a whole. I can see her maybe interacting with rappers who are involved in the gang life, and it making it a little hard for her and Leon to sleep at night, but we'll see what happens. We already know Leon got things planned when he comes back to South Central and tells Saint that he's thinking about starting up a legal firm, actually to defend black people from the constant hate crimes by the police department and those that are misrepresented, just giving them a fighting chance against this broken legal system. Unlike Wanda, I don't think Leon needs that much backstory in terms of how he ended up getting to this place. We already know after Leon killed that kid way back, he done reformed. especially after his trip to Ghana. And then he didn't spend another 3 years out there. By the end of the series, Leon is a reformed man. He also has one of the best character arcs in the series. But realistically, both of these characters as mains, as leads in this series is going to be very interesting considering their character arcs from season 1 to where Snowfall ended. Definitely interested to see what kind of legal practice he's going to open up. I'm assuming he still has the funds to do so. How's he going to go about recruiting people? I'm assuming we're going to see the ins and outs of him open up this legal practice, which I think is good to just get the humble beginnings, all the highs and the lows, to really appreciate everything that the legal practice brought to South Central towards the end of the series. Now that we got the leads out the way, I do want to talk about some potential characters from the original that can return for the spinoff. Popular name out there, we all love him, Franklin Saint. The closer we get to this spinoff, the more I like the idea of Saint potentially returning for the spinoff. I'm gonna tell y'all why. We know at the end of Snowfall, Franklin is at his lowest, but he's content with that. I went back and rewatched the scene with him and Leon talking in the street, and he claims that he's the freest he's ever been. Obviously escaping the gaze of the CIA, you don't really got nothing to worry about in terms of people coming after him for any legal assets or money. He's big chilling, but despite all this, he's still living a wretched life. He's away from his family, his son, his mom won't talk to him, and he's a drunk. So I definitely feel like there's opportunity for his character to turn around, not be the Franklin say he was in Snowfall. Of course, the series is not about Franklin, but to see him out of the state that he's currently in. I'm not saying he's going to be redeemed, but at least see him get back on his feet. And I think he has the ability to do so by way of Leon. If y'all remember, at the end of the series, Leon offered him the opportunity to work with him at this legal firm. Since we know that the series is going to pick up not too long after the original ended, I would not be surprised if he potentially got Saint under his employ. It's going to take a lot of talking to Franklin, though, because Franklin's at a point right now where he feels like he's content with his life, and he very well could be. I just think that this would be a very good opportunity to bring the character back to the series and back in fighting form to some extent. And I think Saint would do great at the legal firm. Like, he's a smart guy when he has his head on his shoulders. You could also see him deal with alcoholism similar to the way his father did, maybe have more interactions with his mom. At the end of the day, bringing Damson Idris back to the series, you already know Isaac will be on the spinoff just off of his announcement alone. On the topic of Sissy, I do got to talk about the potential of her returning to the series too. Now, y'all should already know how I feel about Sissy. TikTok and YouTube, y'all should know the vibes by now. Her character completely deteriorated in that second to last episode of the series. That does not keep her from potentially returning in the spinoff. I think she undoubtedly has some things that are unsaid, especially between her and Saint, that I think need to be said. There's no reason you wasn't talking to bro in the season finale. It's not his fault you ended up killing Teddy. It's not his fault you supported him in all the bad that he ended up doing with his life. So yeah, I think a conversation between the two needs to be had, and I also think it would be cool to see her maybe have some interactions with Leon as well. Last time they spoke was 3 years ago, and we already know Leon and her have a good relationship, so let's see them talk a little bit. It'll be good to see Sissy maybe serve as a mentor for Leon and Wanda, navigating through South Central as black people, knowing everything she went through in her own time. I think her advice will greatly benefit them as they continue to navigate adulthood and potentially start a family down the line. Okay, the last character I want to talk about before wrapping this video up is Louie. Now look, I'd rather her not come back to the series. Like, I'd be so good if we never heard her name uttered throughout the franchise ever again. But I can't rule out the potential of her returning in some fashion. Now, we know Louie is Lord knows where doing Lord knows what, running away from the CIA. Is there a way she potentially makes a comeback? Because I don't really see her coming back just to serve the same role she served at the end of the series. Also, a comeback for Louie is a stretch because without Jerome, she really wasn't moving much out in these streets. Don't get me wrong, she was smart. She was definitely capable of running the game, but she didn't have the respect. So I don't know where they would go her character exactly, but I can't rule out the potential of her coming back. Y'all executive producers and showrunners potentially watch this video some way, somehow, though. I'm not complaining if she doesn't. Y'all are free to leave her off the roster. I am not asking for her to come back. That's all I got for y'all for this video, though, man. I'm really excited for the Snowfall spinoff, honestly. I got a coworker who recently got into Snowfall, and every time they update me on where they're at in this series, I go back to the good old days before I was done with it. But them bringing it back in this fashion with Leon and Wanda being the main characters, I'm excited to see where they're going to take it, especially seeing that we have people that were associated with the original series coming back as well. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Snowfall. Are y'all excited to see this spinoff? What are your thoughts and expectations going into it? Do you think it's going to be one of them ones? Do we have another Better Call Saul on our hands? Y'all let me know in the comments. That said, though, I'm going to get up out of here. I've been OG Snowfall. I hope you've been entertained, and we go talk soon. Peace, y'all.